Marcus Hayes, Fight Hub TV, here with a special treat. None other than Bad Chad Dawson. Chad, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing, man. I'm chilling, hanging in there. I'm out here at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, having a good time, enjoying all the famous fighters, all the legends, all the past legends, and the now legends. It's great.
What is it like? The boxing fraternity only gets together so often. What is it like when you finally get to see all your guys? What kind of memories does it bring back to you?
Bring back so many memories. Memories of me as a little kid watching, guys like Ray Mercer fight, watching guys like, just all the greats, But it's great to be here, just to be involved, to be a part of it. For me to be invited here is an honor for me. So I'm just happy to be here to celebrate your champions.
Chad, a lot of people in the room, a lot of fighters, a lot of hopefuls in the room. Not too many champions. When you look around and you think to yourself, man, I actually did it. I was a champion. What does that mean to you, Chad?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, for me, it's like because from day one, from the first time I put on a pair of gloves, I wanted to be a world champion, and to be able to say I did that and became a world champion and then held on to the title for so long. I mean, it feels good. I mean, just like I said, just to be in this room, to feel this energy, the energy is amazing.
Chad, speaking of champions, we've got a lot of big fights in boxing coming up here pretty soon. The number one fight that's on everybody's mind is Errol Spence Jr. versus none other than Terence Bud Crawford. What do you think about that fight if they ever were to get together?
Oh, it's definitely a fight of the decade. I mean, everybody keep asking me what are my thoughts on the fight. My thoughts on the fight, they're both great fighters. I can't really make my assessment of who's going to win that fight, but it's going to be big for boxing. I think it's a 50-50 fight, but the closer we get to the fight, if the fight gets made, I'll be able to make my assessment looking inside their training camp to see what they're doing, what kind of adjustments they're making. So once I see that, then I can make my prediction of who's going to win that fight, who I think is going to win that fight. But right now, it's a 50-50 fight.
Coming up here pretty soon, we've got George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin Haney. Devin Haney going back across the pond to Australia to try and defend the belts he just took from Kambosos Jr. Tell us about your thoughts on that fight and who you got going into that one.
Oh, I got Haney. Haney all day, hands down. I mean, I expect Haney to go in this time to possibly stop him. I mean, a lot of people don't give Haney enough credit for his punching power, but he's a boxer. I think he's a boxer with a little bit of punching power, and guys don't see that. But I think he'll go in and he might get a stoppage this time.
Definitely a fight that probably would carry a lot of emotion. Another fight that more than likely will carry a super bit of emotion is going to be Canelo versus Triple G Part 3, or CG3 as I like to call it. What do you think about that fight? Who do you like early?
I mean, this is a trilogy, so I mean, honestly, I thought Triple G won the first one. I thought Canelo won the second one, and this is the third one. I think Triple G is gonna get him. Just my thought. I think Triple G got a lot to prove. I think that he's, it's gonna be a lot of anger built up into this fight. They both don't like each other, and I think that I think Triple G's gonna get it this time.
And excuse my reaction, it's not a disagreement reaction. It is one of surprise because I've asked this question so many times this summer, and you're probably only the third person that's picked Triple G. What is it about Triple G Canelo Part 3, or in particular Triple G, that you think he will not let Canelo walk over him this time?
I mean, I think Triple G could take a lot from the Bivol fight. I think he could take a lot from the Bivol fight. If you look at the Bivol fight and watch that fight, I think you'll get to see some of the mistakes and some of the errors that Canelo makes. I mean, I think Triple G, everybody knows he's a big puncher. He probably punches just as hard as Bivol does. I mean, so I just think Triple G has a lot to prove, and I think that he's gonna come fully prepared for this fight, and I think he's gonna get the victory this time.
You just mentioned Bivol. Bivol, the latest conqueror of Canelo Alvarez, getting ready to get in the ring versus what a lot of people don't realize may be one of his toughest tests in Ramirezs. Tell us about that fight. You having been a champion in the division, give us your thoughts on the bout.
Oh, that's gonna be an explosive fight. I think that's gonna be one of the best fights of the year. If it gets made this year, I think it'll be one of the best fights of the year. If it gets made next year, it's gonna be one of the best fights. I think you got two young guys. I think that, but I think Ramirezs will be too tall, too rangy, and he's strong too. So
A lot of people don't realize how skilled Zurdo Ramirezz is inside of the ring. You being a fighter, tell us the things that you see about Zurdo Ramirezz that makes him special.
he's tall, he's rangy. He can punch on the outside, he can punch on the inside, he can box, or he can brawl. I mean, that's like the best of both worlds. He can do both. So if you're coming into a fight against him, you have to be ready to go through everything. As far as like boxing, because he can brawl, he can box, he can do pretty much everything. I like him.
Shifting gears real quick, I wanted to talk to you about a gentleman who's no longer with us, who guided your career in the early goings, and that is none other than the late, great Emmanuel Stewart. Talk to us about the effect that Emmanuel Stewart had on your career personally, Chad.
I got to work with Emmanuel Stewart only for one fight, but that one fight, I learned so much from him in that one fight.
Great Chad Dawson, man. I'm bum rushing the video, man. Y'all talking to the great Chad Dawson, baby.
Yeah. But Emmanuel Stewart, great trainer, great individual. I mean, all I can say is that we didn't really even talk about boxing like that. I mean, of course we trained, we worked out together, we did things like that, but it was more like life lessons with him. It was like things he would tell me, about being a man and things like that. And I think like through that whole training camp I had with him, he just taught me things like being a father, what it takes to be a father, what it takes to be a great fighter. It's not just being a great fighter in the ring, you have to be a great fighter outside of the ring too. So those are the things that I took from him. And unfortunately that we lost him so soon, but he's always gonna be in my heart, and I respect him forever.
Definitely. Marcus Hayes, Fight Hub TV, here with the one and only Bad Chad Dawson here at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Chad, we'd like to thank you for your time, man. It's wonderful to see you. Chad, thank you.